3 cases, 3 lives are cut short, and 1 haunting truth. In each, someone got away with murder.
My dad's trying to kill me.
Okay, calm down.
My mom. Please.
Okay, what's going on there?
2 wives, 2 deaths, 1 house. When Diane Kine was murdered, her husband and son each pointed the finger at the other. One went to prison, but then he was freed. The case remains unsolved. So who got away with murder? On August 15, 2010, a Seminole home became the center of a baffling murder investigation. 49-year-old Diane Kine lay dead in her bedroom, but the horror didn't end with her death. Within minutes, 2 frantic 911 calls came from the same home, each one accusing the other of murder. First from her panicked son, Kevin, who pointed the finger at his stepfather, Bill.
911, is this a police, fire, or medical emergency?
Help me, please.
What's going on?
Help.
Sir, where are you at? Sir.
He's outside of my house. Please help.
Okay, calm down. Calm.
Please.
Okay, what's going on there?
Please help.
Sir, what's going on?
I can't, please.
Okay, all right. House or an apartment?
Help, please, hurry.
But moments later, Bill Kine also dialed 911, claiming it was Kevin who had murdered Diane.
Oh, please, sir. Very quick.
Okay, listen, we've got help on the way, but I need you to do a couple things for me, okay?
Okay.
Are you right there with her?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, I want you to check. Is she awake?
No.
Is she breathing at all?
No.
Okay, I want you to stay on the line with me, okay? I'm going to walk you through something. Do you have a defibrillator available?
No.
To understand what happened that day, we need to go back. Diane was known for her kindness and work ethic. She ran her own nail salon and was a devoted mother to her son, Kevin, who she had from a previous relationship. In 2002, she married Bill, hoping to create a happy, blended family. But peace at home was hard to come by. Tensions between her son and her new husband were constant, and Diane often found herself caught in the middle, trying to keep the family together. Bill grew increasingly frustrated, describing his stepson as someone who lacked direction. By his early 20s, Kevin had dropped out of college, refused to work, and spent most of his time at home, hoping to force a change. Bill pushed for him to move out, but Diane wouldn't allow it.
Diane and I wanted to get out on our own, start our own life together. We were looking for a place of our own.
But Kevin comes too.
No, you're 23 years old. It's time for you to be on your own.
Tensions continued to build, and by the summer of 2010, the couple reluctantly agreed he would leave by the end of the season. That day never came. What happened on August 15th is still unclear, but it seems in the early afternoon, Kevin watched a NASCAR race in the living room while Bill and Diane were elsewhere in the home. Then an argument erupted, presumably over the ongoing strain. By 3 p.m., Diane is dead, and the accounts of what happened next couldn't have been more different. Kevin claimed Bill called him into the room, where he found her lifeless and was then attacked by his stepfather. Bill, on the other hand, claimed he heard Diane scream Kevin's name and walked in to find him on top of her. There was a physical altercation between the two men that spilled into the front yard, followed by the 911 calls. Deputies arrived about 15 minutes later and found Diane lying face up in bed, already cold to the touch, which didn't fit with either man's timeline. Kevin's broken glasses and sandals were discovered in the bedroom, along with drops of his blood on her leg and the bedspread. However, Bill's DNA was found on Diane's neck, which he later explained was a result of their close relationship. These conflicting details set the stage for one of Florida's most perplexing murder investigations. As detectives dug deeper, they uncovered troubling details about both men. Kevin had a history of volatile behavior. Just months before Diane's death, he allegedly threatened her with a knife, shouting, "You're going to listen to me." Another time, during an argument, he reportedly broke down a door after she locked him out. But Bill's past raised even bigger questions. In 2000, his first wife, Krista, drowned in the backyard of the same house where Diane would later die. Her death was ruled an accident, and Bill collected a $250,000 life insurance payout. Years later, it came to light that he had also taken out $750,000 in life insurance policies on Diane.
Let me hear your indictment for Bill Kine for murder. Kills your mother, why?
Money. $750,000 could help him out a lot.
Then there was the polygraph test. Bill showed signs of deception when answering critical questions about Diane's death. Investigators also found it suspicious that after his alleged fight with Kevin, he never checked to see if she was still alive. With both men blaming each other, police were left asking who was telling the truth that day and who was trying to cover their tracks. Ultimately, they had to choose the most probable suspect to charge, landing on Diane's son. In 2011, they built a case against Kevin, pointing to his troubled past and the physical evidence in the bedroom.
Kevin's lied, his DNA is in the room, it's consistent with Bill's story, it's inconsistent with his story. Therefore, he did it.
After a jury trial, he was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. But the story doesn't end there. In 2014, an appellate court overturned the conviction, ruling that evidence of Kevin's past disputes with his stepfather had unfairly influenced the jury. A retrial was ordered, and the next year, Kevin was acquitted.
Bill Kine has lied over and over and over again. He's lied to save his own skin. He's lied to protect himself. He's lied to set up my client for murder. And the state expects you to convict Kevin based on that man's word.
After spending over 4 years behind bars, he walked out a free man, maintaining his innocence and pointing to his stepfather as the real killer.
3 people in the home, my mother being one of them that has died, and the other 2, I'm innocent. There's got to be a guilty party.
Today, both Kevin and Bill are innocent. In this case, anyway. But their brushes with the law didn't end there. In 2016, Kevin was arrested after a bar fight at a Florida pool hall, where he was accused of striking another man with a triangle rack during a heated argument. 3 years later, Bill faced charges for leaving the scene of an accident after hitting a bicyclist with his motorcycle and fleeing, leaving the victim with serious injuries. While Bill's charges led to a conviction and prison time, Kevin's case from the bar fight didn't land him in any known incarceration. Each still accuses the other of murder. Both insist they're innocent. The Crow family's world fractured in an instant. 12-year-old Stephanie, a budding artist with a warm, infectious smile, was found brutally stabbed in her bedroom. The discovery on that frigid January morning transformed their California home, a place of comfort and safety, into the scene of an unspeakable horror. As grief gripped the family, a deeper fear began to settle, the kind that comes from realizing a killer might still be out there.
911. What's the problem? She's right on the floor. She's not breathing. Please, someone got to help her. Please. We've got someone else on the phone, ma'am. Is there someone with her? Yeah, I'm right here with her. You're right with her? She's not breathing. Okay, calm down. Listen to me. I can't. Ma'am, listen to me. If we're going to help her, you need to calm down, okay? We're going to try and help her out. The fire department and the police are already on the way.
The investigation that followed was meant to bring justice, but it quickly spiraled into chaos. With no signs of forced entry, detectives began to suspect the killer was someone inside the Crow, turning their suspicions towards Stephanie's 14-year-old brother, Michael, and 2 of his friends. Over several days, he endured hours of relentless questioning without his parents or legal counsel present. Police used the Reed technique, a controversial method designed to extract confessions through psychological pressure. The process begins conversationally, but quickly escalates.
I didn't.
Detectives claimed Michael had failed a truth verification test, insisting this proved his guilt. They dismissed his denials, suggested confessing would make things easier and pushed him to accept their version of events. Exhausted and confused, Michael eventually gave a vague confession, saying that if they believed he did it, maybe he had, but he couldn't remember. Next were his friends, Joshua Treadway and Aaron Hauser. After hours of similar questioning, Joshua gave a detailed confession implicating the trio. Although Aaron never fully confessed, he described a hypothetical version of the crime under pressure. All three boys later recanted, claiming their statements had been coerced. There was no physical evidence, no fingerprints, no DNA, no blood tying them to the crime. The entire case was rested on these confessions. Police theorized Michael had killed his sister out of jealousy, with Joshua and Aaron helping him plan the murder. A year before Joshua's trial, forensic testing turned the case upside down. Stephanie's blood was found on a shirt belonging to Richard Tweed, a schizophrenic transient with a history of erratic behavior. On the night of the murder, the 28-year-old had been seen wandering the neighborhood, knocking on doors and searching for a woman named Tracy. Investigators had dismissed this critical lead. This finding finally exonerated the boys, but it would be more than a decade before the charges were dropped. In 2002, Tweed was charged with Stephanie's murder. Prosecutors argued he had stumbled into the Crow home in a disoriented state, but no physical evidence placed him inside. While analysts found Stephanie's blood on Tweed's shirts, his defense claimed contamination at the lab.
It was actually mixtures in all three stains, mixtures of DNA from at least two people, and all three were slightly different in their composition, but they did indicate that they were mixtures of DNA of Richard Tweed and Stephanie Crow.
The new suspect's legal saga spanned years. In 2004, he was convicted of voluntary manslaughter and served 8 years before an appellate court overturned the ruling.
We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Richard Raymond Tweed, guilty of the crime of voluntary manslaughter.
Then, at a 2013 retrial, jurors ruled in his favor, believing the DNA match was a result of cross-contamination. By then, Michael, Joshua, and Aaron had been declared factually innocent, but the ordeal left lasting scars. The families of all three boys sued the cities of Escondido and Oceanside. The Crows obtained a settlement of $7.25 million. To date, the case is unsolved and riddled with questions. How could someone have entered a locked house with no sign of entry? Did the police miss crucial evidence because they were honed in on it being Michael? Was the contamination theory credible, or had a guilty man gone free? Let me know what you think in the comments. On October 17, 1995, retired primary school teacher Joy Hewer was seen leaving the London Healing Mission in Notting Hill, where she regularly volunteered. By 6 p.m., she had returned to her flat. Throughout the evening, she made a series of phone calls to friends and family, chatting about ordinary things. The 52-year-old sounded calm and happy, mentioning no plans for visitors. The last call around 9:45 p.m. was to her nephew. By all accounts, there was nothing unusual until there was. At approximately 10:30 p.m., a neighbor heard loud banging and scraping noises coming from Joy's flat. The sounds were startling, but they subsided quickly and no one investigated. Around the same time, CCTV footage captured a man entering the apartment block. He appeared to be between 30 and 40 years old and was wearing a light-colored jacket. Less than an hour later, at 11:18 p.m., a man called 999 from a public phone box.
Hello, Fibergate, can I help you?
Hello, you know the junction, it's in E17, yeah? Walthamstow, St David's Court. A block of flats. Is it a junction?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just driving past there and I saw like flames coming out one of the floors. I'm not sure what floor it is, but I just saw it and I thought, well, I better just...
Yeah, so when you say it's at the junction, what's it at the junction of?
It's at the junction of, it's going into Walthamstow.
Yeah, I don't know the area at all.
Chingford.
Sorry?
It's Chingford. I don't know if they saw, I think it might be Wood Street.
Wood Street?
Yeah. Hold on, let me ask someone.
Okay.
I'll ask someone. Excuse me, mate. Excuse me. You know the name of this street?
5:30.
Yeah, what about the junction up the top of the road there?
No, not that I can see. I just tried it and there was 22.
Straight across. Yeah, it's the junction of cheers, mate. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, Walthamstow Town Hall. It's in the junction of Wood Street.
Right, Wood Street and the junction of...
I can't even remember what he said. But like the what's it called? The town hall, yeah?
Yeah,
Hello?
but that doesn't feature on my computer, the town hall.
No? What about Wood Street?
I've got Wood Street, but it's a long, long road. I need to be able to pinpoint it on the map. Just a second. You don't know the name of another road nearby? One of the junctions?
No, but that is the junction there. That is the
Yeah, no,
junction.
but you're only
that
giving me
runs
one...
It's like a crossroad.
Yeah, you're only giving me one road at the junction. Is it near Wood Street Station?
It's Forest. I think it's Forest Street. The other
Forest
one.
Street. Okay, we're on our way.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Has that come up?
Yeah, we're on our way now.
Yeah. Okay then.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Firefighters arrived shortly after, but the scene they found was harrowing. When the flames were extinguished, Joy's body was discovered in her bedroom. She had been sexually assaulted and stabbed multiple times. Investigators determined that the fires were an attempt to destroy evidence, but crucial clues remained. There were no signs of forced entry, suggesting that Joy either let her killer in willingly or that they had access. Since the victim was cautious, it seemed likely she knew her attacker. 2 used coffee cups were found in the flat, further indicating that she had a visitor. Investigators also noticed the killer's organized nature. They not only set the fires, but likely took Joy's keys to exit unnoticed. The CCTV footage of the unidentified man entering the building became a critical lead, but despite multiple appeals, he has never been identified. Similarly, the man who made the 999 call has never come forward. Was he an innocent witness who panicked, or was he somehow involved? There is also an unsettling gap in Joy's timeline. After leaving the London healing mission at 3:30 p.m., she was seen at a chemist near her flat at 5:50 p.m. But what happened in those unaccounted hours? Did she encounter her killer during that time? Some speculate that the answer could lie in her volunteer work. It is possible she met someone through her church activities or at the healing mission who later betrayed her trust. What is clear is that her killer displayed a disturbing level of control and forensic awareness. Joy's sister Penny Barnes has never stopped advocating for justice. Over the years, police have issued appeals and featured the case on shows like Crime Watch UK. A £20,000 reward was offered for information leading to an arrest and conviction, but the case remains unsolved. The biggest unanswered question: why was Joy targeted? For more True 911 calls, watch this episode next.